Hi everybody. I am here with Korsah, who is founder and creator of Black Business Enterprises, and she's the one who was the head, along with Kim, of course, who put together the Black Business Ball, which was such an amazing event of Black excellence. Just putting all of that wonderful, just putting a lot of wonderful people together, you know, to celebrate Black culture. Like now that we are, because that happened in October 30th, right? Or was it 31st?
Yes.
Just now that we've kind of, and we still have to release the video for that.
We do,
Yes.
and I'm really excited for that.
Yes.
Thank you for capturing those beautiful interviews. For you to actually feature these Black-owned businesses, these local businesses, it was monumental. So
Yes.
it is just such a pleasure to have the Pink Report, to be associated with the Pink Report in any way.
Oh, I
so
love
I'm so
it.
excited.
Honey, this is seriously, it's my pleasure because of who you are. Because we consider you a celebrity. Okay?
Oh goodness.
So, but now that we're after, you know, the Black Business Ball, like what's coming up next for you?
Well, the aftermath. So obviously there's a new shutdown going on. So we have some new challenges with the business owners right now in my association, my members that are struggling a bit right now to gain their footing. But I've educated so many of them financially, so they're not as shell shocked as the first shutdown. And it's not everyone this time, as you know. So right now the aftermath is keeping businesses alive, keeping small businesses going,
Right.
educating them and explaining finances so that they can keep their businesses financially healthy and continue on what they're doing,
Right.
so that they don't have to give up. As you well know, this year they said that we fell down in ranking by 40%. So 40% of Black-owned businesses failed this year. So the aftermath of the Black Business Ball is funding those businesses and really making sure that they stay in business,
Right.
and that they're able to keep sharing their work, just like you, and just keep being great and feed their families and eliminate poverty in the community. And that's key right now. We are planning for next year already.
For the Black Business Ball?
Yes,
Okay.
yes. So many surprises, and of course you'll get the exclusive before it even comes out.
Yes.
But this is going to be 10 times better. You know, the first time we had to test the waters and see what Minneapolis needed. They've told us what they needed. They told us what they liked, what they didn't, the successes, the failures. So we are so excited to go bigger and better and to really highlight, spotlight, and really shout it to the world about who these people are and why they're so noteworthy.
Right. Maybe this time we can get Beyonce to perform.
Honey, listen, I've already reached out to Chris Brown, and I want people to see and hear Black Business Ball and say, oh, I absolutely have to be there to support. So who knows? Well, we never know. We never know.
So, you know, with Black businesses, I feel like, you know, we Black women right now are soaring with opening and starting Black businesses all over the world. Yeah. Especially during this time. What does it look like? And how does a person, you know, of minority, how are we able to sustain the business during this time? Even if it's like a small business, because to some people, a small business is like a lash company, right? Like what is that? Like, how do you sustain that? You know, sometimes it even can look like a side hustle, but it's a business to them. Yeah. So how do you sustain something like that, or cosmetics? How do you sustain that without, because it's so small, you know, like how do you sustain it with and try to gain some kind of market share in an industry that's so overly saturated?
So well said. Many ways. I always tell my business owners to diversify. It's okay, selling lashes is great, but what if, you know, you've sold to everyone you know and they're not coming back? What else do you have that would drive them to you? So I try to tell people, learn another skill, get another product that people are obsessing over, get the hottest trend, you know, figure out what it is out there that people want and that people are selling. You know, as you know, I'm not a huge fan of everyone doing what everyone else is doing. Yeah. However, you know, if you're talking about sustainability, they have to diversify. Right. So that is my biggest advice. Just get don't just focus on that one thing.
Yeah.
Because if you're not able to capitalize on the lashes or the hair, and of course the beauty industry is huge. It is oversaturated, but African American women are actually the 83% consumers of beauty products.
Yes.
But we only own 3% of it. Can you imagine?
You see that?
It's huge. So it is very important that people not just diversify, but try to really brand.
Right.
Brand the products and have a whole line. Okay, you sell lashes. Okay, let's get the hair. Let's get the brow tinting. Learn something and add on so that you're so valuable that no matter what happens to your business, you have so many eggs in the basket. You can actually afford to crack a couple.
Yes.
It's totally okay. So that is my number one advice, and it usually works out well. The ones that do fail is the one that don't get out of their comfort zone and don't explore other things that customers actually need. And they just assume just because they like it, everybody's gonna like it. When in reality, the customer's temperatures change
all the time,
day and night. I mean, okay, one day you're selling your fabulous lashes, the next day self-glue lashes will come out. Okay, are you staying on trend? Are you keeping up? And it is hard, but that's what we have to do today, unfortunately. So what I tell people is just be innovative. If it's not out there, create it.
Exactly. Just to create your own opportunity.
Create it. How do millionaires happen? They find a need and they solve it. So that's my advice.
So I think that there's a conversation I feel like I want to have, because I think that with African Americans, I feel like we just listening to the numbers, right? I think it's humbling, but it's scary. So thinking about that, we are 83% of the consumers, right, in the cosmetic industry, but yet we only own 3%. So I think either increasing the ownership and or seeking out businesses outside of the industry. Because I think that if we are only consumers, right, then what are we doing? What are we doing wrong even? Why aren't we owning enough? I was having a conversation with a woman where I had asked her about her vision for her company, and she was selling lashes. And I advised her, I said, well, I would highly encourage you to partner with someone else who also sells lashes, but maybe offer a different product than you do. And she got so discouraged because she thought, I guess in my mind, I thought maybe she was thinking that entrepreneurship was going to be taken from her by collaborating with another person. And to me, I think that's the best way. Collaboration to me is always the best way to go, especially if you're in the cosmetic industry and you are selling a product like lashes, because it's such a small increment of what the beauty industry is.
Right.
So
it's a drop in the bucket.
Exactly. So what is your advice to someone who feels as if they don't need to collaborate when they should be?
Well, don't get me wrong. I don't think collaboration is for everyone, and I don't think people should always collaborate. I definitely don't agree with that. But because everyone is different, and some people have a vision and they're just so stuck in their own ways that they won't be able to see the true vision. The true vision would be for a black woman, open a big factory, create your own lashes. Right now, all the lashes are being purchased from China.
Exactly.
From China, Japan. So we are still putting money in their pockets. Bundles. I mean, it's huge. So what I would tell them is, the positives of collaborating, obviously, is having a bigger vision. Being able to create something bigger than life. Okay, why just lashes? Glow in the dark lashes. I don't know. But some people, you may not be able to achieve that without actually collaborating with someone. And it doesn't need to be necessarily someone else to sell lashes. How about collaborating with someone that knows the technology to making that happen and creating something bigger and better? That's what I do on a daily basis. So sometimes it's hard for people to see that vision, and also it's more of it's mine. We're almost like 2-year-olds tugging at that toy, like it's my vision, my brand, my face. And with our community especially, it's so hard for us to even get there. That once you have that little piece of the pie, you don't want to give it away.
Right.
But truthfully, the best way, in my opinion, we're looking at the Walmarts and the McDonald's and all these big corporations, and people wonder, how did they get there? They didn't get there alone.
Of course.
It was a series of mergers and this and that. So it's really important for people to understand that united, unless we're united, we just cannot achieve that real big, not corporation feel, but that real big impact.
Perfect word.
Of having a real brand, the real, last example, wine. There's Black Girl Magic. They're a Black-owned wine company, Black female owned. They collaborated to get to where they are. Yeah. So it just simple things like that, and they're huge now. They're huge. I mean, they're on every publication that you look at. They're an anomaly. They're a unicorn. So unless people see it and they see the benefit, the word collaboration can even be in the mix. Yeah, it just can't, because it has to be something understood, and you have to see the value in having someone else's brain to take that brand further. Exactly. And there has to be some type of humility and understanding that it's a team effort. Right.
And even saying, I don't know it all. So
Absolutely.
I need to hire or partner with someone else that I believe knows what I don't know.
Yeah. And none of us know it all. So it's very important for business owners to understand it's okay to say, I don't know. Can you help me? Exactly. And that's what my company does. When people don't know, we give them the answers and try to help them get on their feet and understand.
But you also have a team, don't you?
I do. I
have a team.
I have a wonderful team. Thanks, Yolanda.
And even, let's even talk about that, because I feel like with resources being very limited, a lot of small Black businesses are not able to hire or even bring on interns and things of that nature. So you building your team, because I think that's the most vital thing any entrepreneur could do to position themselves to be successful in any industry. So what can they do to acquire a team like you have done? And because I just recently brought on an intern, but I had to really, because of the way that my brand was set up, thank God, she reached out to me, and I was so grateful. So with you, I know that you have a big team. So
yes.
how what is the advice that you would give people on how to reach out? Because I think that it's so much more effective for them, for business owners, to work in a team atmosphere versus just by yourself. Absolutely.
So small to medium company, obviously, because small companies is usually owner operated, so they really don't get a team. But for medium sized companies, I always say, I don't even give them advice, because once they realize that everything is crumbling around them and that they cannot do it on their own, because I used to think that I was Superwoman, and I would literally sleep through 3-4 hours a day trying to run, all my companies. And, at some point I had to shake myself and say, hey, you know what? I'm hiring 20 people because this is a 20 people job. Right. How to outsource, obviously everyone on my team is Black. And I'm very intentional with what I do. It's Black business enterprises. Of course, we've had other minorities. The way I've reached out, I really don't. They reach out to me. They want to work with me, and they see the impact that we're doing in the community, and they want to be part of it somehow. Right. So of course I'll create positions, and it works great. But the biggest thing is people are more afraid of hiring with Black-owned businesses because they don't have the right structure. They're not sure how to go about it. They're not sure about taxes. Right. So once you eliminate that educational gap, it really is a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer. If I can give you an example, there's a wonderful company called Dillard Movers, and they're scaling right now. They're a moving company here in Minneapolis. They're unbelievable. They're wanting to scale. They hired, and they realized, this was absolutely needed. What were we waiting for? And sometimes when you hire the right help, you see your sales go up, and you realize that was the missing piece. Right. And then if you get the right team members, sometimes they can elevate the company in ways that you could never have imagined. Agree. It's unbelievable. And that goes hand in hand with partnership as well, if you think about it.
I agree.
In my opinion, my team members, I see them as my partners. They're not just my employees. I seek their advice for everything. And they have been instrumental to where I am right now. So the best way is usually just wait and see who comes to you, or you can seek out not just resumes. I don't even look at resumes. I ask people to tell me what they think that they're coming into. What do you think my company is? And what do you think that you can do that I can't do myself?
Right.
And when they give me the right answer, that's it. And the right answer usually is that they care for the community and they see that we care and they want to be part of it.
They want to be a part of it.
That's it.
You know, I think that's so key. I think when a company, when a person is creating a company and or a brand, and they have positioned themselves from the imagery, right, from the message, from the vision, the objective, all of these things where the consumers and or just regular people are looking onward to see what that looks like. I think it's beautiful, and I think it says a lot about the creator when you can create a company and people are coming to you to say, I want to work for your company. That means you have done something right. You have done something that is, you know, it's foundational. You've created a foundation. I think they can see the structure in that. And I think that's so important. So I think, you know, I think that's advice to even be given to people to create structure, because like people don't, a person doesn't want to come into a company that doesn't have structure.
Into a hot mess.
Yes.
Say it.
Oh, that's okay. Into a hot mess.
Yeah.
People don't want it. And I think if I went to go work for a corporation that was a hot mess when I came in, I think I would probably be looking for another job the next day.
Yep.
And same thing for us, you know.
I always tell myself, would I want to work with me? Would I want to work at my company? And the answer is absolutely yes. I'm an awesome boss. But that is, you know, that is an education that our community needs, you know.
Right.
You know, a lot of my business owners, sometimes they complain that they don't have the right help. Why you be in the right company? That is so important.
That's key.
Because
you said, are you the right company?
Yeah, are you?
Oh, honey, that is
are
beautiful.
You? It's not always, you know, the
it's
employees or the
them.
people. Sometimes it's us.
Yes.
Sometimes it's us,
Very
and
true.
we, you know, sometimes, especially when you get bigger, you forget how it is to be an employee and, you know, being in their footsteps. So it's very important that all companies really see within themselves and first make sure that it's the right fit, but also be a place where they themselves will want to work and be. That is key.
Yes. Yeah. I think that's so, it reminds me of that television show. I want to say it's almost like Who's the Boss, or it's called The Boss, where the boss comes in as the employee.
Yes. Oh, what? Undercover boss.
Yes.
I've done that too.
And it's a really great way to see your own structure. You can see the way people are adapting to your values in the company that you've created.
Yeah, and I think the biggest thing with that show was the shock and awe when things were not going right, or when they saw people struggling, or they realized why they were losing money or leaking money, and then they realized, wow, it's what I've built. There's something wrong with what I built. The wheel is not turning as well as I thought.
Ooh.
So being right there with employees, and I tell people I don't give them anything to do that I have not done before myself. I will never ask you to do a task or a job that I have not done myself. Because then I understand exactly what you're doing.
Exactly.
How you're feeling.
Right.
How it's making you feel. Maybe not so much, but I think it's key for all small business owners, medium business owners, to just never forget that. And also just remember, especially with our new COVID friend,
right?
to be human.
It's the auntie, like Auntie COVID.
Auntie COVID. We're so tired of her. But just remember to be human and just really care for each other, because at the end of the day, it's a job. And, you know, if they're gone, you're going to replace them. And same with us, you know, if we work somewhere. So just to be human and not forget to give employees grace. Yeah. So we can receive that same grace.
I love it, Nancy. I think that's I think it's needed though.
Yeah. I want to explain to people that if they're struggling, they're not the only ones.
Right.
And the resources out there, you know, well, Ramsey County grant closes today, so it's kind of late. It closes tonight.
Right.
And, you know, Hennepin, and there are resources out there, and not to depend on grants. That's what I want to get out there, because people
depend on grants?
Do not depend on grants.
Because there's no guarantee that you're
going to get it. Come on now. There's a million people applying. You know, people just complained about the Hennepin grant that just happened. You know, a million people applied, but it's like, what makes you think that you can... But people depend on that grant. Yeah, I'm going to get a grant. No, you're not.
Listen, I applied for the grant, but I'm also like, I filled it, like I prayed over the grant, like as I was filling it out.
You prayed over?
I did, because like, but I also I wanted to release it. I didn't want to be a slave to the grant.
Yeah.
And I didn't want my emotions to be so tied into getting it either. Because if it didn't happen for me, I didn't want my emotions to be so,
attached to it. Yep. And that's what people are doing right now. They're just, I'm going to get this grant. And I need people to get themselves financially sound.
Yeah.
And not depend on absolutely anything and anyone else but themselves. Yes, the resources are out there. Go for them. Always apply no matter what. But I just want people to understand that nothing is going to dig you out of the hole. Even if I give you $15,000 today and you just don't know how to manage it, it's going to disappear like
so fast.
So I just want to make sure people are educated on finances before they seek any more money anywhere that is not guaranteed.
If this isn't the truth, honey, like I think that's probably the most important. I think as many business owners, or at least as many businesses are being created, you still have to find ways to be able to manage not only just your business, but manage the money that could possibly be coming in.
Yeah.
And
absolutely.
then also thinking like if you have a lot of debt on your personal debt, what's going to happen when you get a lot of money from your business? You won't be able to turn the money over back into your business. You're going to have to take care of your personal debt.
Exactly. You from the horse's mouth. You hit the nail on the head, and it's just so important for people to understand that in our community, because I hear this all the time. I have over 3,000 plus members just here in Minneapolis, paid members, and their biggest struggle is managing their finances. And I feel like I'm beating a dead horse. That is how other communities win. They really are good money managers, and they only get what they need, not what they want. And there's absolutely no need to be flashy or for flashiness.
So this is like, I don't want to keep talking about this because I think like our culture is surrounded in glam.
Yes, and we are glam. We're kings and queens.
Honey, yes, I love it.
Yeah.
However, I don't think that we need to be glam on that kind of level.
Yeah, because then it's just insecurity.
Yeah.
What did Kanye say? They make us love their wealth. They're wealthy, but they're driving a Prius.
Right.
And we broke, but we're driving a Mercedes. One of my clients has a Bentley, and he owes $70,000, and I'm like, who told you could get a Bentley?
Right. But that's how it is.
Yeah.
You know what? It was Lil Wayne's interview that I saw. He said, I think he had made a song, and I forgot what the song was exactly, but I think he did like an MTV Cribs. And he was taking people on a tour.
I actually remember that.
And
I missed that show.
Right? They take him he took him on a tour around his house, and they were asking about his songs and like how he lived.
Yeah.
And when they showed his house, everybody like on the set was so surprised because they like, oh, I thought that this was, I thought you would have this kind of house, but you're really cultured. You actually do love black people. Oh my goodness, you have this in your home. And he's like, oh, so I think because of the music he makes, the perspective that was given is that he's this, this street banger, gang bang guy. Yes, like he was illiterate, so I think his music shows that. However, on his real life, he is not very, very well educated. He can speak well, articulate himself, and I think what happens on his
persona.
Exactly.
Right.
But I think for us in our culture, we take his persona, or we take the artist's persona and take it as their truth.
Yes.
And we want to live up to the persona and not who they are in their personal lives.
Oh, don't get me started on this conversation.
But it has
this double
everything.
identity thing.
Right.
It's just, I have so much to say about this, but you know how I live.
Yeah, honey.
I when I tell you, I don't even tell anybody.
Really?
I love to mind my business, but it is so important for people to understand that success is not just what you see, it's what you live. So, you know, a roof over your head is so important to me. That's why I'm really trying to push ownership. People are so sick of me hearing it. Buy a house. I tell, you know, my client wanted to buy a Louis. I said, oh, is that going to help you buy your house? It is so important for me. Okay. Ownership. We don't own enough here in the U.S.
Yes.
Do you know African American ownership here in Minneapolis? It is so low compared to any other state. It is so incredibly low. So we have to start owning versus renting. The lifestyle that they're wanting to attach to us. Yes, it's fact. We are kings and queens. It's absolutely possible to be fabulous and look fabulous without actually breaking your bank.
Yes.
If you wear all of your wealth, but your bank account is empty, we just can't. It's not sustainable. We can't build wealth in the community. So people know how I feel about this. I talk about it every time they ask me about how we build wealth in the community is stop being flashy. And I understand sometimes that's what captures the youth is that flashy lifestyle. But there really is nothing better than owning and not really showing people what you have.
Well, how do we make this normal? Like, how can we, because people are saying, normalize luxury. Yes, I believe in that. But it's also, I think you can have a lifestyle of luxury if you can afford it.
Yes.
You know, you don't live a lifestyle of luxury if you cannot. So how can we normalize living within your means? How can we normalize, you know, living without validation? How do we do that?
You're going deep, huh? That's centuries from now. And I you know, I don't want to, I hate to sound like a pessimist, but it is ingrained in the culture right now that, you know, the girl with the red bottoms and it is ingrained in the culture. It's like, wait it
out. Just wait.
Yes. And it is a way to validate its insecurity.
Yeah.
I don't know that's going away very soon, but we have the power to actually decide that.
Yeah.
You know, and that's why I go out there every day and I don't go glam because but I want to show people like, you know, it's okay to not be this.
Yeah.
And you still have it, and it's okay for people not to know. It's okay not to flash it.
Oh, honey.
You know what I mean?
I think that right there, I think that touched me because it's like that part of it's okay for people to not know.
It's okay.
It's okay for people to not know that you got $10,000 in the bank.
It's totally okay.
Oh, honey. You know, I was talking to my sister recently, and I was writing in my car, and I was thinking, you know what? I think I want to remove like the comments on like my social media. Like I want to, like when you post on your story, I wanted to remove the comments because I felt like I no longer need the validation. I no longer need anyone to say, "Oh, you're so pretty. Oh, you're so beautiful." I you know, thank you.
We appreciate it.
Right, but I don't need it, you know, and I think I just wanted to remove that piece from my life. And whatever it is I have to give to the world, it's just I'm putting it out to the world, and I don't need to get anything back from individuals, you know, at that moment in time. Just take what I am giving.
That's wonderful. I love that because that's how I live, and I just find so much power in it because it's like a secret.
Right.
You know, it's a secret life.
I love that.
You kind of like laugh a bit in the background because my biggest thing is everyone that flashes. We talk about supporting the Black community. You know, you're wearing Nikes, that or I don't know, Gucci or Louis Vuitton, which you guys know I love, but they haven't had a sale in centuries. And you know, I have my local Black business owner that is trying to you know, push this absolutely wonderful brand created from the dirt, and we're not supporting them. Be flashy and support. If you're gonna be flashy, like let's do something better. Like when are we gonna stop making the rich richer? That is just my that will always be my question. When why don't we create our own Gucci and our own? Why can't we have our own household names?
I love that.
And that is why I'm so big on just Black media. Why don't we create our own? I want my own. I'm tired of supporting.
Black media is already here. Honey.
It is
the Pink
here.
Report is already here.
It is here.
It is here, and I'm so like I feel like I stand in that world too with you. Where it's like, why not create something for Black culture? Yes. Which is the reason why I created the Pink Report, to have Black media right at the centerfold of it. You know?
Love the Pink Report.
Honey. We just got to let let the world know, okay?
I love this. I love this so much. And just the fact that you give a platform to women to just speak up and just be us. And and it's okay to be vulnerable, and it's okay to be successful. It's okay to be awesome. I love the unapologetic fact that the Pink Report brings to people. It's just I just feel like we can be ourselves with the Pink Report.
I love it.
And I want more Black women to know and feel that it's okay. One of a very successful Black man actually reached out to me this week, and he said, you women have the power. He's the owner of Get It Done cleaning services.
Okay.
Ramon. He said, you women have all the power. If you said it was okay for a man not to be flashy and have all of this, we will fall in line, because we do all of this for you, to impress you.
Wow.
So Nancy, he was asking me to get on the live and tell people that's not the kind of man that you're looking for. And I said, everybody knows, but I'm not shopping, But he made a point.
That's
though.
Very
we
true.
as women put such a high standards on. He has to have money,
Right?
And it's like, why can you build a king?
Right.
Why can't you build an empire? Why don't you build your man and build your woman? Like, you can build each other up. You don't have to do all this extra
by
stuff.
yourself, even.
Exactly, by yourself.
Oh, honey, I think we can go on and talk about like what we don't have, and you know what I'm saying. This whole, I want to be able to, which is why the Pink Report exists. I want to push a certain kind of narrative, a narrative that that we've heard about, but we're not familiar with. So even with what he was saying, I think that let's start that conversation. Let's start to push that, because I think that's so important, which ties back into business, which makes business so much more harder, because if we're spending money on what's happening here,
outside,
the less we have, the less we have to spend on our business, to spend on business lawyers, to spend on business trademarks and things of that nature, which are so vital to the success. Yep. So let's go live. And I think as women, even, we have to begin to increase the standards of what we are looking for, and not only just with business, but in our environment, in our relationships, right? To even for that narrative to even change.
Absolutely. I want people to understand that there's a new normal. Period. I don't care what's on the MTVs and on social media and the fake bodies and the contour. Yes. There is not even a new normal, but the just real life. It's okay. Girls with degrees and small butts, and they're still winning. Okay?
Very true.
I'm sorry. They're still winning. It's just the image out there that you have to be perfect. It's just there is a normal. Black people are living in $1 million homes right in the suburbs.
See?
It's normal.
Very much
it's,
so.
It's achievable. It's happening. So let's not, let's think that is not our normal. But it can really, really be our normal once we start not just speaking on it, but living it.
Exactly.
And putting our money where our mouth is.
I would agree.
So
I would agree.
The conversation that you're leading, I want to make sure the biggest thing for me with business is a person as a whole, because the business is the person. Right. So I want to cover the person as a whole. Okay. Usually. Okay. Now, of course, the time permitting. I mean, there's an onion. Like I will break down every society, everything. It's like, no, you don't need that. You don't need this. Right. But for business purposes, I focus on the person. The only way I get a business to succeed is get that person right. And then the business gets right. Wow. The business is not right without the person getting right, because the person is who makes the business fail 100% of the time. Wow. Yeah, and it's real. It's happening right now. If the person's personal finances are a mess, the business is a mess. If the person's life is a mess, very true, it spills into the business. There are some people that are great at separating that, but it always spills into the business. It's like dirty laundry.
And that's, you know what? And dirty laundry smells. So that's
exactly. It just
so
goes
even if
everywhere.
the clothes doesn't mix, the aroma will.
Yep. Yeah. It just comes up. It just somehow will seep through. So it really is a whole. But if I just want to talk about me and how I got to this, education. I'm really big, and that's why I love you. You're so educated. Every time you speak, I want to listen.
Oh, you're so sweet.
I really want our people to educate themselves. I recently had someone kind of make fun of one of my friends who came here and has 5 degrees, and she's just school. As Africans, it's like your parents won't even keep you here unless you get those degrees. They'll ship you right back.
That's so true.
Yeah, and I kind of want to infect our community and our culture with that. And I understand why people are fearful. Our system is broken, of course, with the student loans, but I want to affect that, education. You will still fail in business, even if you're out of education. Don't get me wrong.
That's true.
But you get so much further.
Yeah.
And no one can mess with you when you know things.
That's so true.
You just educate yourself on the small things. It is so powerful to say, oh, I did that myself.
Right.
And I feel like that's you.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Yeah,
honey, I love it.
You're so powerful because you educated yourself on so many things to help you run your business.
I love it, honey.
Yeah.
Ooh, thank you.
It's true. I love it so much.
Well, same thing. I feel the same way about you, Nancy. Like, even when I came over to your house, I'm like, ooh, I got humbled real quick. Seriously. I was like, ooh, I need to be quiet this entire time.
No.
That's just a moment of me saying, I don't know enough. I need to know more. And this woman knows much more than I do. So I'm about to, she's about to have a wing over my shoulders, whether she like it or not. I'm about to get close to this woman because she knows a great deal about herself and how to get there. And to even find out that you take care, you do such a great job of taking care of your family and holding everyone so tight and so close.
Yes.
Like, I love that, honey. Like,
she saw my crazy family.
they are beautiful. You have such a beautiful family. Beautiful family, including me. And, no, I'm just kidding. No. You have to edit that.
Don't edit it, V. She's got a crush on you. This better air.
No.
She's single.
Don't do it. Okay, so funny. So, no, I think, you just really threw me off.
I'm sorry. He's beautiful.
No,
he is beautiful.
Like,
next time he's home, I'll make sure you come over.
Like, when I was interviewing him, I didn't even know that was your brother. He came around. He was like, I'm Nancy's brother, by the way. I was like, ooh. And it came, it showed, my reaction, when he was recording me. I was like, ooh, are you? Because he's so handsome. Yeah. And I was like, oh, okay.
Black is beautiful.
Yeah, honey, yes. Yeah, so, your whole family, honey, is everything.
Yep, and we're actually doing a family business vision party.
Really?
Speaking of business.
Oh, wow.
If you really want to know more layers about me, I believe in manifesting everything, writing it down. If you don't write it down, it may not happen. It will happen, but it'll take a lot longer. Right. We make it a point to sit down and write each other's goals.
Oh, wow.
And then we'll look at each other and say, how can I help you achieve that?
Oh!
When can I watch your child?
Ooh.
What should I do? How much money do you need?
Wow.
And that's what we do.
Oh, honey.
Yep. And every year we knock it out of the park. I want our Black-owned families, our Black people to do that.
You have got to go back. We have to stay on that much longer.
Let's do it.
We got to stay, because I think, that just blew me out of my seat. Hold on.
You're invited, by the way. You can come.
I am coming, okay? I'm coming.
Come.
I think just hearing that by itself, I think Black people, Black and brown people alone, I think that the struggle is support. And where people are saying, I don't have the right people around me, that's them screaming, saying, I don't have enough support to even sit down and say, hey, let's do this vision board. Vision board opportunities tend to come in events.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And it doesn't really say, I think, even with friendships, which is what we were just talking about here, is that, to me, that's what friendships are about. I think that if you are ever going to gather around with a group of people, it should be about, how can I help you accomplish your goal? What do you need from me? As your friend, what do you need from me? And if those conversations are not happening, and I don't care who you are, whether if it's a guy, if it's your best friend, if it's your mentor,
anyone around you.
Exactly. If these conversations are not coming up, they do not need to be in your space.
Absolutely. And that's how I operate, and that's why I think I've gotten so far. I only surround I surround myself with people that I know have my best interest at heart, but also that will stop and say, Nancy, how can I support you? And I'll do the same. The great thing that happened with my family before I launched Black Business Enterprises, we sat down, and I was so frustrated as a single mom. As you know, I'm divorced. And they said, Nancy, how can we support you achieve these dreams that you wrote down? I said, okay, I need you, Michael, to watch Salem on Wednesdays, and I need you to... And everybody came together. And my company, it was not born through me. It was born through the Korsahs, the McCartys, my entire family, my entire village, and friends too, which I call family. They literally poured into me so that I could grow this tree. and that's how Black Business Enterprises was born, you know, because of them. Yeah.
I really hope that just whoever is watching, I hope that you and who you are spills over as an inspiration to them, because I feel like what you've created, Nancy, is bigger than life itself.
Oh, yeah, I hope so.
I'm serious. I just hearing you speak right now. Everybody needs to know this stuff, and I think everybody needs to operate out of this level. And there's levels to everything. There's levels to poverty. There's levels to richness. There's levels to middle class too. So I think that operating out of that level of superiority, of richness, I think even when you haven't made it yet, but operating out of that level, I think is so imperative to one's own existence, to one's success, to one's support system. And I think supporting each other, I think if you're supporting other people, you told me this, if you're supporting other people, people will support you.
Yes, and that's my mantra.
Yes.
I don't think without people, at least for where you and I want to go, it's the people that get us there.
Yes.
So we have to be extremely intentional in pouring back into those people. Not last, but first. So that they can, you can see those fruits growing. And if I want to tell people this, especially people that are struggling right now and thinking they don't want to launch that business, they don't want to, they want to close their business, so they want to give up. Don't give up, first of all, okay? Oprah started somewhere, right? And I can't tell you, and I've read many of her books, how many times she almost quit. But the key word is almost. Don't get there. There are resources out there. I'm out here, and I've helped over 7,500 businesses this year.
Love it.
Stay in business, and it's just a message away. There might be something out there that you don't know. We don't know it all, so just reach out. There are people that actually genuinely want to help.
Right.
Don't give up on your dream. There's not enough of us out there. We need to saturate the market. We need to get rid of all the, you know how people call it Karens?
Oh, yeah.
There's Karens out there? Okay. Yeah, I want to saturate the market with Black-owned businesses everywhere. I want it to be like a phrase where it's like, oh, yeah, I don't know, it's the bops.
Right?
I don't know. I couldn't think of anything.
It's the bops. Yeah,
it's the bops.
I love it.
Or, whatever the acronym is. And everybody knows, oh, yeah.
I love it.
That's what I want. I want to saturate it to where you hear the word and you already know it's a Black woman in business.
Right.
Whoa. I mean, of course, we're everywhere.
Honey,
I love that's what I want. So don't give up on yourself. And Black men in business, we don't talk about you enough. But
very true.
Just keep going, please, because the community needs you. I need you. Mel needs you, and we have to build something bigger and stronger in order to actually develop a real community. So I'm excited.
Listen, thank you so much, Nancy. I think the Pink Report needs you. Okay. Seriously,
so
we need you, and I am so grateful that you even had the time, out of your busy schedule to sit down with me to talk business, to give advice, and to be an inspiration to other young women. And thank you so much.
You're welcome, Mel.
Yes.
I love the Pink Report. Y'all watch. Stay tuned.
Yes.
She's amazing.
Download the app, guys. You need it. You need it.
I have it.
Right? Nancy got it.
I love
Nancy
the tea.